Our next speaker is Bryan Breckenridge, and I feel very fortunate to have met him while speaking in LA. It's very rare that you find somebody that their energy immediately hits you. The first time we met, he asked me if I like to hike, and I was like, yeah, I love to hike. And he says, do you ever jog while you're hiking? And I was like, I guess so, yeah, I don't know. And within a week, he had me running 8 miles up Mount Tam. This is a guy that does not mess around. And it's really a rare thing to meet a guy who is comfortable with himself, comfortable expressing his feelings. And so I am very honored to know Bryan and to count him as one of my good friends. And Bryan's daughter, Maya, is here. Do you have anything that you would like to say?
I'm just really happy that my dad's about to speak because...
Thank you. She is much more eloquent than I am. Please welcome Bryan Breckenridge.
I am walking out in the rain, and I am listening to the low moan of the dial tone again, and I am getting nowhere with you, and I can't let it go, and I can't get...
Thanks a lot for coming back. And what I really want to do, you spent time like getting some science from Charlie and getting like a real heart infusion. You know, we talk about heart electricity in Charlie's talk, and that's in the room. And so what I wanted to do is try and come back fully into the room, because you've been under a brain and heart onslaught. So let's maybe come back into ourselves for a second. And the way we're going to do that is I'd like for you to raise your left hand in front of yourself. And with your other hand, I want you to bring your fingertips of your right hand together with your left. And I want you to do it consciously. And ideally, spend just a moment interlacing your fingerprints. And on your next inhale, make it deeper than normal. And on your exhale, clap that hand as hard as you can. And right now is the present. That tingle in your hand is the present. That is you. That tingle in your hand. And when Charlie's talking, your brain is going off, and you're either thinking about the grocery list that you've got to sort out, or you're thinking about brain science and heart science and neutrons and protons. And when Hyla's speaking about her life's journey, your heart feels it, head feels it, but you kind of leave for a while, which is likely compassionate. But I just want you to be rooted in you a little bit too here, because it really is a root in you that will, what's been gained in your brain and your heart, out of here. It's really you that needs to do that. So I'm really, really grateful to be here with you tonight, all of you. And I'm really blessed that my courageous daughter, who rocks and has a heart the size of, I don't know, many dinosaurs that are probably extinct now, I'm glad she's here too. So the question I have for you, or the inquiry, and feel free to answer it audibly or to yourself, but what makes you feel most alive? The dance. I know that one mama loves that. She expresses in the dance. What else? What makes you feel most alive? For God's sake, help me out. What is it? Helping others? Dancing, music? Raising children? Being in nature, my kid says. Swimming. I've seen one mama swimming. Yoga. There's a few yogis here. Yoginis. Gardening, meditation. My kid again. God, right out of me. Like Evan was saying his hiking, thank you. He was saying that his clock is ticking. Like, I'm so glad I birthed her. I'm just kidding. Her birth mother is one of my good friends. He made this a long time ago. But what we're here to do is talk about the notion of being with women. And as much as some of the Don Juans in the room are like, oh yeah, being with women. It's the late show, we'll go there later. I'm happy to go through some of my Don Juan chapters. They were brief in nature, but they were sweet, sweet, sweet chapters. The rico suave times. But we're not going there with women. The notion here is being, BE, is an acronym for my optimal living approach personally. That's belief and energy. That's the inward and the outward integrated. It's the heart and the brain together. It's the passion you have in life brought to your work. It's that integration that is so special to me, and that's your full being. So being with women, I'm just going to give you 5 women in my life that come in 4 quadrants of belief energy. 2 years ago, I started a movement called Belief Energy, or Being, and now 90 countries look at the blog, and 12,000 people on a really organic basis picked it up on Facebook, and every day I just drop a picture of Mount Tam and some thought-provoking notion there. So I consider myself the conversation facilitator, and Belief Energy is about optimal living, and it's personal to all of us. And you're going to meet these 5 incredibly special women, one of which is anonymous, and from them I'm hoping you'll get a nugget of what some aspect or a core aspect of optimal living represents. You notice I didn't talk when I was walking. I'm working on that. Cheerleader for myself. But in these 4 quadrants, this is belief energy. You can name it something different if we ever work on this together, but the soul is the most rooted. It's the most intangible part of your life. It's your value structure. Your tribe is your social relationships and the people that are in this room, our sangha, our community, our family, our kin. More tangible, but still in your heart. The health aspect for me is mental and physical. And the action component is when we do get that mission, role, and goal and we drive it forward in action, the most tangible. These are the roots on the tree. These are the flowers on the tree. Belief energy, optimal living is in that for everyone here. It's what drives One Mama. It's what drives Hyla. It's what drives Evan and Sasha. It's what drives these beautiful, closest of friends that are here with me tonight. Some aspect of that. And now let's talk about these powerful, amazing women who rock with heart that are in each of these buckets. You're going to get like 2 minutes on each, and then I'm going to get out of here. The soul part of you, the least tangible part of you, your heart part, is represented by Meg Levy. I've known Meg 7 weeks. Isn't she lovely on the bottom? She's lovely. She's freaking lovely, actually. And she intercepted me at Wisdom 2.0, a conference that I attended a couple of months back. And we came together. She rolled off a conversation with this balding guy, this Zen guy from Boulder, who I saw talk the year before. And I said, hey, is that the Boulder guy? And this lovely little presence named Meg walked to me, and we talked about the guy from Boulder. And I wasn't assuming that she was pretty far ascended in her practice in an area that I admire. But I got so spun up. I was so fired up to be at Wisdom 2.0, which is like the tech companies meets the healing community. It's me. I work at LinkedIn during the day. I'm in charge of nonprofit stuff at LinkedIn here in town. And then I really do a lot of healing-related integral work outside of and in bringing those 2 worlds together more and more. So this conference was for me. So I'm out of my shoes. I'm 2 feet above the ground, high on this conference, no doubt about it. And that lovely lady, Meg, after we chat for a few minutes, she reaches up to me and she shakes my hand and she says, we should sit. It would do you some good. Sit meaning meditate together. Bold compassion from Meg Levy. So I'm leaving the conference center and I grab my phone, pull her card out, which she just handed me. We're now collaborating professionally as well. I sent her an email from the spot, passing the bars, passing the party, because I'd been just wowed by this lightning strike that took me out of my head and brought me back down to the ground. And I texted her, or actually emailed her, I said, can we sit in the morning at 7 a.m.? And sure enough, we showed up, we sat in this meditation pavilion and spent 30 minutes together, and by the end, she said, okay, you can drop in, okay, you can come back down. Then I when I got home, I realized that she was a 20-year Zen practitioner. She's 15 years in residence, and she's a 10-year Zen priest at Green Gulch Meditation Center out in Marin. She's super guru in something I'm really interested in. And she found me in that 1,800-person conference on the eve of some terrible news that I received about some other personal stuff. So the universe works in interesting ways. For me, soul is compassion and authenticity. And this woman has bold compassion and was willing to express it to me because of her courage and the fact that she rocks. Yeah, right? Thank you. Yeah, give it up. And you can meet her anytime. She's at the Green Gulch in the priest robes and the whole bit. She's got her daughter there who's 12 and her husband, Jeremy. She's amazing. Go see her at Green Gulch. So then let's go up to these women who are pretty important to me. They raised me. It's my moms. Right? So my biological mother, Beverly, and my stepmom of 32 years, Vicky. We'll go shorter on these even though they deserve the world. There's just two stories. For me, my tribe is my support, mutual, bidirectional support, and a sense of home. Wherever I am, I'm home when I'm with tribe. Part of my tribe's here. Part of my closest tribe is here. So Beverly on the left, my biological mom, quick story on her, she celebrates life's celebrations. These two women are tribe at all costs, like Hyla with her 4 kids and her lovely husband, Evan, and all of us that are committed to these partnerships that Evan spoke about earlier. That's commitment to tribe. My mom, my biological mom, is committed to the celebrations in life. She would come pick my sister and I up on the weekends to take us back into Kansas City. We grew up in Kansas. And she got a ticket once on our birthday for flying down the highway with 100 balloons aired up in her car because she wanted us to open the door, my sister or me, for the balloons to fly out of the car. She's so committed to that experience of celebration. She made me this ring for my college graduation. It's a big, gaudy, huge gold ring, but it's 2 rings. My dad's engagement ring to her and Rory, an artist that she was with for years, with a note attached that said, this ring is the 2 men who made you who you are. Wear them and stay in them. Right? It's fucked up. That's celebrating important stuff. Sorry, Maya said the F word. You're very mad at me, I know that. She didn't hear it, she said. And so that's just 2 stories about these women who are committed to celebrating important life's things to celebrate. I mean, you heard Charlie, he's celebrating this night. This night is infusing a lot of hope for him in this amazing disease that we're here to learn about and likely end with $4 million. Are you kidding me? $4 million in today's economy. We can get that. Anyway, not here to sell. So my stepmom of 32 years, he came along when I was 7. This is a woman who, not celebration, that's not her specialty. The opposite. She is into commitment. She's committed to commitment. Fascinating. Dinner was at 6, and you weren't late. And we talked about our day every day at 6, and it was a big meal full of whole food from Kansas. Like, all the kids in my family, there are 4 of us under the roof. We're all healthy and athletic and all that. And she made all those meals, and she was committed, and the kids got straight A's because they're committed to commitment like she was. German, strong. But the thing that's really fascinating about her as well is she's committed. Even at the end of life, for my dad's uncle and my dad's dad, they died in our home. She brought family back into our home, and we built hospital rooms in the back of the house, and all the kids took turn changing the bedpans and carrying our uncle over to the potty so he could go to the restroom, when he became less, he could control it less and so on. She's instrumenting that. That's commitment to tribe. So these are special women, and I'm very lucky to be a part of them, and because I could be alive, this one could be alive, and so on. So that's important. So moving over to a new presence in my life, a really special person named Julie Locke, who's here. Julie Locke is, she's cool. If you met her, she's really cool. And the reason that she gets the health representation, because health for me requires curiosity, which is up here, and the surge and rest. That had Evan running 9 miles straight up Tam, because you have to have a surge in your life. You have to be bold enough to go to Africa and fix that dirty, dark, messy pad that those kids are born on. You've got a surge. To make this event possible, there was a surge. There's also got to be a rest. You saw me pause when I got up here. That's a little bitty example of a pause. This life's too special to surge the whole time. Okay? Let's clap again. Hit it again. Oh. Yeah, feel it. It's tingle energy. That pause came right back. It's amazing. Interlacing your fingertips. I put a black dot on my thumbnail to remind me to come back. It's the dude bendy. Instead of it being here, I just wear it here. Little tips. Anyway, back to health is curiosity, notion of surge and rest. To me, that's journaling since I'm 19 to come up with that. And I'm like 22 now. So 3 years I'm journaling about that. So back to the slide. Julie, by day, is an oncology nurse down at Stanford, been in nursing 7 or 8 years. Is that right? And she, 8 months ago, starts doing yoga teacher training because of her curiosity, part of her essence, and the quest for information, right? She's skilled on the medical side. She's skilled in chemotherapy and blood transfusion and doing the things that help people transition from the hardest things in their life, their hardest battle, maybe even transition into their next life. So you got that person that's also now taking yoga on as a part of her life and realizing, much like all of us in the room who have a mission, you can combine your science life, in this case medical, professional life, with a passion and blend the two. So here's an inspiring person that now knows how to be around people and help them heal and wants to bring yoga to cancer patients and merge her worlds. Your worlds can merge. Devin Rush can do things to advocate for children and sing her throat out all night and bring the two together like she's doing here. Integration, right? That's health, okay? Yeah. And I'm not just trying to drag applause out of you. I'm just trying to make a few points. But Julie is doing a great job of integrating. And if you ask her about her definition of health, she would say it's an integrated thing. It's mental, physical, emotional, etc. And now digging over into this anonymous, and then I'll jump off the stage with one piece of parting wisdom or advice, I guess. These are my thoughts. And this is an anonymous person. I got in a couple of year stint when I was doing ultra marathons on trails. So I love running up steep hills. I love running down steep hills. Surge, rest. Crazy. I love the summit, but I summit the whole time. Crazy. I'm running a race outside of Portland at Mount Hood. Has anybody seen Mount Hood with their eyes? Live, Claudine has seen Mount Hood. This nice lady has seen Mount Hood. This is it. It's a volcanic piece of rock that people ski on most of the year, and it juts out of nowhere. And so my friend Aaron Johnson and I board a plane and go to run a 50-mile race up and down that mountain. And it's 98 degrees. It's the end of the summer, and it's an arid desert around that snow-capped mountain. And there's a woman that I saw on that course. It took me 10 hours and 40 minutes to run that day. From way before dawn until late afternoon, I ran. Cramped, saw my way through hell and back 3 times, crawled for a while, and I was fit. I weighed 198 pounds, muscular, big man for that course. And there was a woman on that course that was probably me plus Maya, or maybe me plus 2 Mayas. I bet she was in the neighborhood of 240 pounds, probably 250, 260. It doesn't matter. The weight doesn't matter. But the point was, she had her knees taped up, and she fought that course the whole time. Talk about women who rock and who have courage. This girl was not, in outward appearance, an Olympic marathoner by any stretch. And she was on that course, and my neck hair stood up every time I ran near her, or I would see her from another part of the course, and she was just fighting this course. And when my buddy and I left the course that night, because trail runners stick together, it's a weird breed that go out and do this crap. But I looked back for her. My cover is when I said crap. But I looked back for this gal, this peer of mine, and she did not finish. DNF, they call it. But that just means that they pulled her off the course after about 14 hours of struggling through that course, right? So I just ask that if you think you can't do it, be quiet about that, right? Like, here's a girl who's a lot bigger than me, and she is fighting a 50-mile course in the middle of the summer and probably got 40 miles through it, right? So anything's possible. All I ask is that in your life, You do what you can to allow optimal living, because it's your responsibility to have your own optimal life. And then you got to earn it. And I think you earn it by defining what matters to you in these buckets. And then you have to sustain it. Allow, earn, sustain your version of optimal living. Thank you very much.